how much of what we've been told about romance, the Hollywood version, actually applies to real-life relationships, especially across different cultures?
That's a great question. And it kind of challenges those stories we all grew up with, right? The ones that often don't quite match up with reality for a lot of people.
Exactly. And that's really the heart of our deep dive today. We're doing a bit of a reality check on relationships.
Yeah, pulling back the curtain on some of that conventional wisdom and asking, does it actually help us build lasting connections?
Our guide for this fascinating journey is Felgonah Oyuga's book, Things I Wish They Told Me, Part 1. How to Enjoy a Relationship with an African Man.
Right. Felgonah Oyuga, she's a seasoned op-ed writer, calls herself a recovering romantic, actually.
Ah, I like that.
Yeah. And she wrote this book after, believe it or not, a casual chat with a friend.
Really?
Yeah, her friend pointed out this huge gap in relationship advice, specifically for relationships with African men.
Yeah.
Said something like, you guys are different animals.
Wow.
And Oyuga's own life experiences, like her dad not initially approving of her marriage and how that relationship eventually went, it convinced her she had something important, something unique to share.
And the core argument of the book is pretty powerful, isn't it?
It really is. She basically says meaningful relationships aren't just about, feelings or emotions or destiny.
Right, not just fate.
No. They need deliberate effort, intentional resolve, a plan. She's quite critical of those traditional Western romantic ideals.
And the kind of superficial advice women often get.
Exactly. She pushes for maturity, soberness, clear intentions in how we approach partnerships.
Okay, so let's unpack that first point, challenging those romantic ideals. She really goes after those classic romance novels, huh?
Oh, absolutely. The ones we maybe snuck reads of during school.
Totally. Filled our heads with these images of, like, mind-reading guys with amazing bodies and secret fortune.
And the heroine gives up, the ultimate price, sex, and boom, instant lifelong love.
Yeah, that whole trope.
And what's really striking is how she tackles that head on. This idea that more sex equals more love, especially in the context she's talking about.
Right. She says what? On her side of the world, it's different.
Yeah. If you have sex with a man, he'll enjoy it, sure. For as long as possible, she says. But it doesn't automatically mean love.
So it's not like a transaction.
Not a bargaining chip, no. If you choose to have sex, it should be for your own enjoyment, your pleasure too.
That's a really different perspective from a lot of advice out there, which focuses so much on technique.
It is. And this whole redefinition thing, it extends to love languages too.
Ah, right. Forget the flowers and chocolates model.
Pretty much. For many African men, she argues, the love language might be way more practical.
Like what?
Well, she gives examples like him bringing you a goat leg,
Okay.
or a sack of potatoes, carrots, cabbages, or maybe taking your car to get the brake pads checked.
So tangible things, acts of service, provision.
Exactly. Real support, not Hollywood gestures. The key takeaway seems to be that, in some cultures, this practical care is the sign of deep commitment.
And she's pretty blunt about it all, isn't she? The grow-up message.
Very blunt. No perfect man exists. Your partner will hurt you, annoy you, and not just leaving the toilet seat up, kind of annoy.
Huh, right. Deeper stuff.
Yeah. Both people are figuring things out. And you need maturity, sobriety, she says, to navigate that.
Hey, speaking of redefining intimacy, this story about the sex auntie, Bibi, that's wild.
Isn't it? From Tanganyika, apparently. Highly sought after by middle-class women in Nairobi.
And charging KSH $15,000. That's like, what, $100 US? That's a lot of money there.
A significant sum, yeah, for practical lessons. Oyuga describes this whole clandestine setup, the questionable cast Bibi used for demos.
And the callback tune being the Lord's Prayer. The irony.
Right, and the lessons themselves apparently just became like a live version of poorly acted porn.
Wow. So it makes you wonder, like, what were these women really looking for?
Exactly. What are the deeper issues when people turn to things like that? Oyuga thinks many women genuinely believed that, mind-blowing sex would save their marriage.
Based on that idea that men only stray for better sex.
Yeah, that misconception. But Oyuga really pushes back, says men are not goats. They won't invest in a whole other human being for 30 seconds of private part bumping.
Strong words.
Very. So the real insight is these external fixes often just mask deeper problems in the relationship.
You need to address the root causes.
Right. Identify the real issues and get actual professional help. Not Bibi.
Which connects back to her point about sex being instinctive.
Exactly. She says it doesn't need manuals or performing like a trained monkey.
Like the praying mantis doesn't need instructions to bite its partner's head off.
Right. Or a cow doesn't need to be told when to mate. Humans don't inherently need teaching for the basics of sex.
So if you feel like you can't have sex or you're not relaxed or confident,
That might signal a deeper issue. Again, something professional help could address. And crucially, she emphasizes women need to enjoy it too. It's not just about performance for the partner.
okay, let's shift gears a bit. Segment 2 is about relationship dynamics and self-preservation. She tackles polygamy.
Yeah, which she calls a bitter pill for many modern African women.
Her take is quite provocative. What is it? An African man is often polygamous until proven promiscuous.
That's the line, yeah. And it's up to the woman when she accepts that reality. But she draws a really sharp distinction.
between polygamous and promiscuous.
Right. A truly polygamous man, in her view, is often open about it. He's involved with all the kids. And critically, he can afford to provide for everyone.
She gives an example, right, like making sure all wives have income streams.
Yeah, sending some back to school, investing in others' businesses so they handle daily stuff while he covers the big-ticket items. It's about management and provision.
Contrasted with the promiscuous guy.
Who plays games is sneaky, doesn't care about the quality of the other women, isn't a provider. She argues the fear of polygamy often comes down to perceived scarcity of money, time, love.
But a true polygamous man, according to her definition, manages those resources well.
That's her argument. He expands his capacity, doesn't just subtract from existing commitments. It offers a different lens for understanding, not necessarily judging.
This leads into her advice to live your life, everyone will adjust. Which sounds simple, but...
It's powerful. She criticizes how women can lose themselves after marriage, stop hobbies, lose friends, neglect how they look, just become dull.
And her mother's advice, if you met him at the bar...
Please continue to accompany him to the bar. Don't suddenly morph into someone else.
It ties into self-worth, doesn't it? Protecting yourself from resentment later.
Absolutely. And she tells this really chilling story about a good woman's funeral.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's praising her for sacrificing everything for her family. Never ate if food was low, always forgave the husband, always home. But she died young. Stress-related illnesses, high blood pressure, diabetes. While the husband, fit as a fiddle from golf and the gym.
Oof, that's rough.
And Oyuga's takeaway is pretty cynical. She says people are scared of the dead, so they'll say nice things anyway. Her message is blunt. Live your best life now.
Wow. And this links back to being authentic from the start.
Right. Even if you are a lot, there's contentment in being real. She uses hyacinth from Keeping Up Appearances as an example.
Hyacinth bucket or bouquet.
Exactly. Overbearing, snobby. But her husband, Richard, sticks by her, trying to be someone else. That leads to self-betrayal, resentment. She even says she tried toning herself down once and was miserable.
Okay, another really potent point she makes. His people are not your people. Dealing with in-laws.
Yes. And she opens with this incredibly painful story. A woman takes loans, builds a beautiful house in her husband's ancestral home.
The in-laws love her, called her their in-love.
Right. But then the husband dies young. She expects comfort, but instead...
They accuse her of killing him. Because men do not just die.
That's the quote. And they chase her out. Someone literally tells her she can pick up her house from their land. Just devastating.
It really makes you think about navigating those complex family ties, especially in very communal cultures.
Definitely. And Oyuga's conclusion is stark.
Nah.
In-laws aren't relatives in the same way your blood family is.
So if you do things like build a house on land you don't own, or educate his siblings...
Do it because you want to, for your own reasons, not to score brownie points. It might not count for anything in the end.
And she advises against complaining about him to his mother.
Yeah, because the mother will just see it as you criticizing her upbringing.
And don't complain to your own family either.
Because they'll hate him forever, even long after you've forgiven him. Her advice is basically, handle your issues as adults, set boundaries early with in-laws, keep your marriage unit distinct.
Okay, moving into segment 3. Practical tools and intentional choices. Understanding his love language again.
Right. She tells this story about a woman complaining her husband isn't romantic after hearing about her friend's husband, Mr. Romantic.
Sending flowers to the office, surprise dinners.
All that stuff. But then it turns out Mr. Romantic is also a community husband and a boxing champion.
Local terms for being promiscuous and unfaithful.
Exactly. Openly so. So the point is, don't let outside stories define your own relationship's reality.
Remember that practical provision, the goat leg, the brake pads, can be a valid love language.
Yes, it might look different from Western ideals, but it's still care. And she warns strongly against believing friends' lies or oversharing.
Why is that?
Because misery loves company, she says. Your friends might even subtly try to sabotage your relationship if it seems better than theirs.
Ouch. Okay, now for the really controversial one. Have an affair.
Yeah, this one definitely raises eyebrows. She argues that historically, in some traditional African contexts, female fidelity wasn't always the expectation like it is now.
Marriage wasn't always about romance, more about security, alliances.
Often, yes. And she even describes, like, Lua homesteads having little escape roads in the fences for secret lovers.
When the elder, Mzi, coughed loudly coming home.
Exactly. A signal for the lovers to scram.
So her argument is,
Well, it's provocative. She suggests one man can't possibly fulfill all your needs, and it's unfair to expect him to. So an affair, and this is key, if done respectfully and intentionally, not out of spite,
can provide unmet needs, sexual or emotional.
and actually make a marriage bearable, maybe even happy. She gives examples like if a husband is impotent or ill or just emotionally checked out.
And claims many happy marriages have this third leg, stabilizing them.
That's her claim. It's absolutely a not for everyone idea. She acknowledges that. But she presents it as potentially a pragmatic coping mechanism in certain situations. It's her view, challenging norms for sure.
Okay, shifting again. Be his peace, but not at the expense of yours.
Right. Acknowledging that men face hard times too, economic stress, mental burdens.
So create an environment where he can be vulnerable.
Yes. Keep his confidences. Crucially, don't ever weaponize his weaknesses against him in a fight.
And she talks about creating a physical space, too.
Yeah. A warm, inviting home or bedroom. Being thoughtful, like cooking his favorite meal when he's had a rough day.
There's that sweet anecdote, too, right? About the sugar dish.
Oh, yeah. The friend whose wife made sure the sugar dish was always full when he was struggling with his business, just lightening his load in small ways. He never forgot it.
It's about reciprocity, then, giving peace without losing your own.
Exactly. And learning how to communicate, choosing words and timing, not talking down to him like he is your 4-year-old naughty toddler.
And if you find you just can't do that for him.
Then she says you need to ask yourself why you're with him at all if he doesn't deserve your peace.
Which brings us to money. Money, money, money.
Always a big one. She directly answers that question. Why don't modern marriages last like our grandparents? Her answer, money.
Because money gives women
Options, security, freedom, things the grandmothers often lacked because their security was totally tied to their husbands.
And this leads to her advocating for the Fuck You Fund, or FYF.
Yes, a fund specifically saved by the woman for herself, hidden away, a cushion if things go south.
Even a relatively small amount can make a difference.
Absolutely. She mentions KSH's $100,000 for a month's rent. Just knowing it's there brings calmness, helps you make better decisions, be more creative maybe.
And start saving it when things are good, not when trouble hits.
Right. And don't tell them about it or act like you're broke because of it. It's your safety net.
But having this fund doesn't mean you become the breadwinner.
No, she's clear on that. She actually argues women are not built to be breadwinners. Says it leads to losing respect for the man, denies your feminine energy.
So support his leadership, even if it means downsizing. Don't flash your cash.
That's the advice. But if he completely gives up, she says you're not the captain. You don't have to go down with the ship. Your FYF is there for a reason.
Okay, next critical message. You do not have to catch something, disease and abuse. Starting with disease.
Yeah, a serious warning. Women in long-term relationships can be especially vulnerable to STIs.
And she points out that if you suggest condoms or try new sexual things, an African man might assume you're cheating.
That's an observation she makes, yeah. Which makes conversations about safety even harder.
And she shares that really shocking story about the woman with recurring infections.
And a gynecologist asking blunt questions about anal sex, which the woman had never even considered.
Revealing the husband was engaging in risky behavior with others and not protecting her.
Exactly. It's a brutal wake-up call. Her advice is stark. Insist on protection. Be honest with yourself about who your partner really is. Pay attention to the hints.
If he has a weakness for, as she puts it, anything else with a hole.
Protect yourself. It's a courageous call for very difficult but necessary conversations about sexual health.
And then abuse. Physical, emotional, financial.
She acknowledges it's hard to even identify sometimes, because maybe violence was normalized in the homes people grew up in.
Like her multi-generational story. Grandmother beaten, told it was small things. Mother emotionally abused, also told small things.
Yes, that pattern of minimizing abuse across generations.
So what's the recommendation?
Professional, non-faith-based therapy. She calls it the best investment she ever made, helping her interpret life. It's about breaking those cycles and getting qualified help when your own background doesn't give you the tools. She bluntly says many are unhappy because they're in a relationship with their foe.
Which leads us, finally, to maybe her most crucial point. Choose your poison, I mean man, carefully.
Yeah. A memorable title for a very serious message. She says it flat out. The type of man you decide to be in a relationship with determines the quality of your life.
It's not just choosing him, it's choosing his whole family, his.
His whole genealogy, she says, and the father of your children. It's a massive decision. She warns, if you can't stand his mother, watch out if your kid makes the same facial expression.
So take the choice seriously.
Very. And she argues women often don't get their top picks because they wait to be picked.
Unlike men who shop around.
Right. So her advice to women is participate actively in the choice. Have options. Shop around for the best ex.
Meaning?
Look at how he treats his previous partners. Does he know how to disagree, how to break up respectfully? That tells you a lot.
And that racing heart feeling might not be love.
Could be a red flag, she warns. Your body's saying, run, not stay. Choose the solid guy, the one with brains and grit, not just looks. Looks aren't currency for a good life, she argues.
And she connects this choice to something bigger, too, right? Breaking cycles of poverty.
Yeah, a powerful point. Women-led households are poorer, she states. If you choose a rogue man who won't provide for his kids, you will likely struggle financially.
It's clear this is deeply personal for her, influenced by her mother and grandmothers regretting being good women on their deathbeds.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It gives her advice this real sense of urgency. Choose wisely now.
Okay, so wrapping up, Oyuga's book, Things I Wish They Told Me. It's a pretty stark reality check, isn't it? Especially for relationships in an African context, but maybe with broader lessons too.
Definitely broader lessons. It strips away those fuzzy romantic ideals and says, look, good relationships take intentional effort, maturity, a clear plan. It's not about magic feelings.
It really emphasizes self-preservation, managing expectations realistically, making sober choices.
Yeah, from understanding practical love languages to that controversial take on affairs to the absolute need for your own money, your own safety net, protecting your health. It forces you to look at relationships with open eyes.
Happiness isn't finding Prince Charming. It's about making deliberate, self-aware choices that prioritize you.
And being yourself from the start, living your own life, and be really discerning about who you let close.
So as we finish this deep dive, here's a final thought to ponder from the author. You are not for everybody. If you truly, fully embrace being yourself right from the beginning, how might that change everything?
Not just who you end up choosing.
But maybe how you get chosen, and the whole path your life takes.
Something to think about.